Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits.
We start here. Pacquiao Barrios, many former opponent of yours. A lot of reports he's going to fight Mario Barrios for the WBC title a number of years out of the ring. What do you make of it?
Well, one, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I think there's every chance he could do. Secondly, I think how has he got to a world title shot? Fifth.
At 46, the boxing legend is returning to the ring to face current WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios on July 19th in Las Vegas after 4 years out of professional competition and a second failed run at political office.
Imagine if he was number 1 and 2 in the division and trained all your life to get there, and then Manny comes in after being retired 5 years or whatever it is, and goes into number 5 in the division. Boxing these days.
Manny Pacquiao will face Mario Barrios for the WBC 147-pound title this coming July 19th in Las Vegas. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years old and has officially been retired for 4 years now. And as much as it sucks to admit it, obviously this is no longer the same Pacquiao, and it's been evident not only from his last professional fight against Ugas, but also based on his most recent exhibition fight. Now, in theory, Pacquiao's power is still there, and I feel like it's always
surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. He's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and try his best. That's what Manny. One thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So he's going to give it his all.
Probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually, Pacquiao is a step up. And people still complain.
Pacquiao is stepping back into the spotlight where he's always thrived, the ring. But this isn't a nostalgia tour. Barrios is 29 in his prime and not here to play gatekeeper. He's defending his title against a living legend, and he plans to keep it.
Talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity.
Manny Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, it definitely has to do with money. 1, 2. I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. He didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no.
We're here in Manila with the great legendary champion Manny Pacquiao, Sean Gibbons. And Manny is announcing.
It was like, when I was growing up, he was always a fighter I was studying. I was always watching. He was always one of my favorites. It was so just so technical, even when he was in.
Training footage of Pacquiao has sparked debate. While his hands still look sharp, many fans were quick to point out signs of fatigue and stiff movement. Some even called it hard to watch.
See the Manny Pacquiao fight. What can you learn from that fight?
You know, it showed that, you know, combination punchers, you know, that's how Pacquiao, you know, was landing, you know, his punches, combinations. And, you know, it just shows me that, you know, he is a great fighter, but, you know, I'm going into this camp, going into this fight confident, you know, everything right with our game plan. And I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
My legs tight.
Yeah, we saw that you didn't use your legs as much, not as much footwork from you, and not as much head movement from you as well. Was it a matter of tightness? Was that the issue?
Yeah, my legs is so tight. That's why it's hard to move.
Do you think that's father time? 42 years old, still doing this, man, going the distance here against yes, look at this. This crowd is so pumped to be here. They came to see you. What do you want?
Pacquiao, why? What do you think? You think Barrios?
Still, Pacquiao insists he's all in and aiming to defy Father Time once again. Let's not forget, Pacquiao stunned the world at 40 when he beat Keith Thurman. But 4 years is a long layoff, and the sport doesn't wait for anyone.
Are you serious? Pacquiao's like 50. He's 46. But he's still Pacquiao.
No, he's not. I think Barrios.
You said Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao.
For the most part. However, without the speed and his reflexes, in which Pacquiao has heavily relied to pretty much all throughout his career, that said power is kinda useless if he can't really put that into execution. This move to have Pacquiao return for a championship fight after a 4-year layoff is also a slap to many WBC fighters in the rankings. Not to mention, shows that in boxing, rules will always be bent depending on who's involved.
Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. That's a tremendous fight. It was released, PBC. Manny Pacquiao first title was the flyweight WBC, and he wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benny's boots, you know, but he still hasn't had those wins yet. So, you know, I like to see great fighters just slowly fade out of sport, but also at the same time, if they feel good, if they feel they can be competitive, and there's a lot of money to be made, I also get it.
Not even an 8-division champion. This fight raises serious questions. Is it a farewell masterpiece or a step too far? Can Pacquiao pull off one last miracle, or will Barrios shut the door on the past?
Well, I'm so thankful to the fans so coming here to watch to witness the fight live. I'm really appreciative of your effort to come here. Even despite of this pandemic, you have time to watch live the fight, and I'm sorry that we lost tonight, but you know, I did my best, and I apologize.
147, kind of a weird spot right now. We're looking at Manny Pacquiao potentially facing Mario Barrios. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, I think that, you know, it's a very contentious subject. Like, you know, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time.
You can't beat Father Time, but Father Time is hard, and it was very hard watching him fight Lucas. You could see it, and then watching the exhibition he had with the Korean guy or the Japanese guy in last year. It was hard to watch. I know Manny, I know the man that I was sparring. I love that guy. So, but again, he's a legend, and he turns it on.
Who wins, Pacquiao or Barrios? Drop your predictions in the comments and make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates on this historic showdown.